Good day. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Today is 4/18, 2020, obviously. This video I'm going to play is 7 years old from January 30th, 2013. I'm going to let him speak to a certain point, and then I'm going to chime in for a second.
496.
So great to be with all of you guys here today. Thank you for listening.
For the record, if you just give us your name as well, please.
I'm sorry, Corey Solier from Bristol, Connecticut.
Thank you.
I'm just a normal, everyday citizen that lives his life by what is known as the non-aggression principle. And in living under the non-aggression principle, it's the belief that most problems are best solved by way of persuasion and non-aggression as opposed to coercion. When I look at these gun control proposals, I see a lot of aggression and I see a lot of coercion.
Amen.
Specifically, Senate Bill.
Just like right now, we have the private corporate sector and the federal sector combined together in coercion against the people right now. And I'll explain more of that in a minute.
Bill 161 calls for banning ammunition feeding devices that accept more than 10 rounds. Now, if this were to pass and become law, and I use the term law loosely, because it's my belief that any law that is unjust is no law at all. Let's just say, try to think through this rationally. If this were to become law, and weapons such as a Bushmaster or an AR-15 were banned, and let's just say that certain citizens decided to nullify this law and to peacefully and respectfully not turn in these weapons to the government, what would happen? I think we know what would happen. Police officers who are armed would go to these law-abiding citizens' place of property, armed again, as I said, and use the threat of violence to try to confiscate these citizens' private property.
And guess who's going to do that? Because they're following orders. Your neighbor that goes to work and puts a suit on with a medallion on his chest, and he'll say, or she will say, I was just doing my job. I'm just following orders. Wow. And those become also the tyrants and your enemy, okay? Because they're willing to do the work that those other people cannot do when they're committing tyranny upon and tyrants. They become tyrants.
Even though these citizens have not committed any acts of aggression toward anybody. And so when I look at legislation like Senate Bill 161, which would ban these weapons, I think it's a proposal of hypocrisy.
Yeah, it is. And people are too stupid to realize it because they've propagandized them in their mentally retarded brains to believe anything that comes out of that boob tube or from the hacks in government, which really are your enemy. They are no other than your enemy. Look what they're doing right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're not there to help you. They're ushering in more draconian laws. They're taking your tax money and spending on and using it against you.
I'm not
in coercion.
a gun owner. I have never owned a firearm because throughout most of my life I never saw the need to.
Boy, you better fucking see the need to. And boy, all of us should see the need to.
But when I see my government passing legislation such as the Patriot Act, which strips us of our inalienable right to be safe and secure in our persons, places, properties, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures, I see that as cause for concern. When I hear things like the House of Representatives passing legislation like the Cyber Information and Security Protection Act, which will allow companies to bypass all existing privacy laws to spy on communications and pass sensitive user data to the government, I start to get more concerned.
That's what I was going to talk about. When private companies can violate your rights and the government isn't going to do a damn thing about it, then we don't have a government anymore, ladies and gentlemen. That's where you're missing the link. We're all missing that link right there. Because you can see right now they're allowing private corporations, which we know who owns these private corporations. We see them every day on TV, the Kushners and the Soros and the Rothschilds and the Schiffs. And I can go on and on and on. It's just like the media is owned by 6 corporations, in which most of those board members are all on each other's board members of those 6 corporations. Same people. And the government says, well, it's just like fuck book, okay? Come on, really? They can violate your rights, because they say that's a private thing. They can set their own fucking rules. Which is bullshit. So then that means our government is inept. They won't go after people that are violating your rights. So who's controlling our government? It's quite obvious. And Carrot Top right now isn't doing a fucking thing about it, and all of you dumbasses thought this guy was coming to save you. No, he's going to help. He's helping you dig the trench to bury you in. Just like the last jackass. So, that's what people don't realize, that these guys are stabbing us in the back, and then, come on, really? They're allowing corporations to violate your rights, to invade your privacies, to collect data on you. Well, if I don't have nothing, I'm not doing nothing wrong, I shouldn't worry about it. Yeah, you should worry about it. The government, it's not their business to know who you are, or what you're doing, or how much money you even make. Did you know that? And that's a fact. That's all a violation of your 4th and 5th Amendment. And as long as I've been alive, I've been watching these 2 different unison bodies called the people in government, because it's not the government, it's a building with a name on it. And the corporations, the people in those corporations, they're all hand in hand. It's obvious as hell. And they are turning a blind eye because they're all in bed with each other. Yeah. And it's just like everybody, oh, he's a billionaire. He wouldn't waste his time and this and that. Yeah, he's going to waste his time because he's in the same fucking bed as these people. And I don't really care if you don't like my language, people. I get people commenting constantly, if you would stop, that's because you've been trained mentally to be butthurt. Trigger words. That's what makes you a fucking pussy. You know that? And that's a fact. They might as well have cut your balls off when you were born. Seriously. So keep buying this shit, and you're going to keep getting screwed over. We should be rising up like lions right now, you know that? But we're going to be like sheep, lambs, and be led to the slaughter. Willingly and willfully. When the train cars come up, they're going to go, Mary Lou, come on, they're going to help you get rid of your virus. And you're going to go willingly without question. Yeah. We have an evil that has swept the world. And if we let them get away with it, we're going to live in a dark world. Very dark world. So you have to throw a wrench in the gears. Actually, you might even have to throw your body into the machine to stop it. And until we do that, they're going to keep abusing us, torturing us, spraying us, poisoning us, starving us, causing us to get into wars we shouldn't be in. while they benefit, not only monetary wise, power wise. There's very few of them if you really think about it. We are many. Even without weapons, we are many. Believe me, you can't stop a flood. Not even if they think they can. Numbers are numbers. And they're playing the numbers. They're running the gauntlet. They're going for the gusto right now. It's either all or they know they're all dead. So they're gonna run this to its gauntlet right now. Because they think that they got it going on. And they do. Actually, look at what they did. And don't be afraid. No one knows the outcome of any battle when they go into it. I'll keep saying that in my videos. No one knows the outcome of any battle. Even when you think that you have the perfect plans and the setup, it can fail. And all plans have a way of falling down during mid-flight. So you can't live on promises of tomorrow. Today is the present. And that's all you have at this point in time, because there's no guarantee that you will be here tomorrow. Let's finish what this young man had to say.
And when the United Nations launches a little thing called Agenda 21, which undermines the leadership of local municipal governments via unelected UN workers, I become even more concerned. And when my president approves legislation like Section 1021 of the National Defense Authorization Act, which allows the military to indefinitely detain citizens without trial, all in the name of protecting us from terrorists, I start to think, maybe arming myself to the fullest might not be such a bad idea.
Yeah, that's no shit, people. And this is 2013, this was spoken. Think about what has been passed and what more draconian shit that these people have been doing and who they're connected to. Keep remembering that. Who are they connected to? The Gates and the Soros and the... Yeah. Trumps, the Kushners, the Schiffs. Yeah, the Kumos, Bloombergs. It's a saddening thing, ladies and gentlemen. And we're afraid. What happened to us? Somebody castrate us in America? Because it sure seems like it. Violence isn't always the best option, but ladies and gentlemen, it is still an option. And I think that's left up to, they're pushing us to that direction so that they can bring in more draconian laws and bring a heavier hand down on the people so they can complete their agenda. That was done in 2013, Agenda 21. Well, here we are, and look what they're doing right now. And look what they want us to do. They want to track us. They want us in the name of a VCN19. I call it covert. It's a mission. And they're all in it. All the leaders in the world are compliant with this. They've already agreed at their G20 meetings and so on that the public don't get to go in. I don't need to have to sit there and present a lot of evidence of who's who. It's quite obvious what's going on by the actions and the things that they're doing. And if you're not smart enough for that, then go play your little number games and your witchcraft shit and this and that. Try to figure out this, sitting on your ass, just like me. But I'm a mouthpiece, I'm telling you straight from the horse's mouth. What I watch, what I observe. I don't have to sit there and play all this voodoo shit to figure out something. The truth lies right in front of your face, people. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.